I like to practice the walk-trot-walk transitions on a circle when you're working on building up your horse's top line, because on the circle here, I can really focus on my diagonal aids. So I'm focusing on keeping him off my right leg and into my left rein. And what that does is it helps to engage his top line. Hello everyone, today's video is about how to build your horse's top line. So first I'm going to start off of my horse, kind of talking through what is the top line, how to develop it. Then I'm going to get on and I'm going to show you two really good exercises to help build your horse's top line. Before we get started, a big thank you to Purina Feed. They are the sponsor of today's video, and Mr. Kensington is also powered by Purina Feed. So be sure to check out the description. There's a link for you to check out Purina's Feed Greatness Challenge. There's some great coupons for you to get discounts on your first bag of feed. So first of all, what is your horse's top line? Why is it important? When we talk about our horse's top line, it's just what it sounds like. So it's all of the muscles that go basically from the top of the tail up through the loin area, through their withers, through their back and withers, and then up to the poll. So this is your horse's top line. And the reason that we want to develop our horse's top line is, for one, because we're sitting on their back. And so when there's muscle here, your horse is better able to carry your weight. If your horse has no top line muscles, you're basically just sitting right on their bones. So like you're sitting on their, not on their spine, but you're sitting on their spine and their ribs, and it can be uncomfortable for your horse. I've had a few young horses that when they're young and they're really skinny and you're basically just sitting on their bones, they get quite sore in their back because they don't have the muscle to carry you. So that's one really important reason to develop your horse's top line. Another one is that when your horse's top line muscles are strong, it's a lot easier for them to do the movement. So it's a lot easier for them to do transitions. It's a lot easier for them to do bending lines like curves and circles. And they're just a lot more pleasant to ride when they are correctly using their top line. So a couple of things that you want to look for to kind of be able to tell whether or not your horse's top line is developed. The first thing is that some horses have a naturally better developed top line than others. For example, I feel like PREs in general look stronger in their top line, as opposed to thoroughbreds a lot of times look weaker in their top line. So the best way to tell whether or not your horse is developing their top line is to take progress photos. Like, I recommend taking a photo of your horse, I would say about every 6 months or a year, so that you can compare your particular horse rather than comparing your horse's top line to another horse. The other place that I really look for top line development is in their neck. So you'd like to see muscle up here in the top part of their neck, and you want to see that this under neck here is not so developed. So some horses have what we call a U neck, or a big bulging muscle down here on their under neck. That's not a good thing, because that's going to lend itself to your horse wanting to invert and hollow all the time. So you want to really see that in their neck that there's nice development up here, and that there's not so much development here on the under neck. The other place that I always pay attention to in their top line is in their back here. So Kensington, actually, here's a good story. About a year ago, I was doing 4th level and I was trying to move Kensington up to the pre-St. George level. And I was just having a lot of trouble kind of getting the muscling and the top line on Kensington. And what I realized after meeting with a nutritionist is that Kensington wasn't getting the protein that he needed to develop the muscle. So when you want to develop your horse's top line, it's two things. One is the nutrition and what you're feeding them. And then 2 is the work that you're doing. It's just like us. If we want to go to the gym and become a bodybuilder, we have, you're so cute, Kensington. You have to do the work, and you also have to eat correctly. So I switched Kensington over to Purina Feed, He gets the gastric care and he's also on the Super Sport. And I've seen a huge difference in his top line with the combination of the correct nutrition and also the work. He's really filled out like a lot here. He also used to have like kind of a little bit of a hunter bump, and his butt was like really pointy. So he's really filled out a lot through here. And another benefit is that he's not getting as sore in his back. So as he's developed the correct muscle, he no longer gets as sore. He used to get like really sore right here in his lower back. So that's a little bit about top lines. I'm gonna get on now and I'm gonna show you 2 really great exercises that you can do under saddle to help build your horse's top line. Does that sound good, Kensington? Now that you've seen Kensington's beautiful top line, you're gonna get to see Mr. Kensington in action. I'm gonna give you 2 simple exercises to help build your horse's top line. That said, it's important that you do these exercises correctly, otherwise you could be building the wrong muscles. So, wake up Mr. Kensington. Kensington thinks he can just be a model today. Little does he know he has to work. The first exercise to build your horse's top line is walk-trot-walk transitions, or really any kind of transition. But what's really important is to build your horse's top line through transitions is you really want to make sure that your horse maintains the same frame. So that you get your horse walking forward, that your horse is round and on the bit. So you can see how this muscle in the top part of his neck, when he's on the bit, you can see how the muscle in the top part of his neck is engaged and that under neck muscle is loose and wiggly. If he's not on the bit, so let me just show you, like if I put him and he's above the bit like this, so if he's not on the bit and he's going like this, now you can see how this muscle down here is more prominent and no longer engaged, and you don't see so much the top part of his neck. Visually, when you're on your horse and your horse is using their top line, you'll see the base of their neck will get fatter because that muscle on the top part of their neck is pushing out. So I'm really focusing on that as I do these transitions, walk, trot, walk, is I want to make sure that he's using that top line muscle. I like to practice the walk, trot, walk transitions on a circle when you're working on building up your horse's top line, because on the circle here, I can really focus on my diagonal aids. So I'm focusing on keeping him off my right leg and into my left rein. And what that does when I'm focusing on my diagonal aids is it helps to engage his top line. So I'm gonna go to the left and do them to the left also. So when I have my horse off the inside leg and into the outside rein, now there he's bracing, like there he's not using his top line. So I'm giving him a kick with my left leg and keeping the connection on my right rein. Now he's softened and his neck is round again. And trot. Good boy. Good. So shoulder 4, supple. No, there he got a little brace. Supple, supple. Walk, walk rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And trot. Good boy. Good boy. So that's the first exercise, is walk, trot, walk transitions. Honestly, you cannot do too many of those transitions. There's something that I think, you know, even with a Grand Prix horse, you're always working on those trot, walk, trot transitions. So the next exercise that I'm going to work on for developing my top line is the rein back. The key to a good rein back is a good halt. So I want to make sure that my horse halts, that he has his pull up the highest point. Good boy. Close my leg and back and forward again. trot. Good boy. So the reason that the rein back is a really good exercise for building your horse's top line is because the rein back helps to engage your horse's hind end and lower their hind end. So again, forward to the halt and back. Good boy. And trot. And I'm going to repeat it again. The rein back, to be honest, is not Kensington's best move. Good boy. That was pretty good. And trot. But again, when we think about building up our horse's top line, what we want to feel as the rider is that our horse stays soft and supple. Because when your horse is soft and supple, that's when they're using their correct muscles. That's when they're using their back. That's when they're using the top part of their neck. If your horse braces against you and gets strong in the contact, then they're using their underside. They're using their under neck and they're braced in the back. So I always want to make sure that I can soften the inside rein, that my horse stays in the frame. If I glance down at his neck, I want to see that the top part of his neck is kind of fat and that he has a nice arc in his neck. Good boy. So those are 2 exercises to work on building your horse's top line. Trot, walk, trot transitions and rein back. If you want to build more of a top line on your horse, it's the combination of exercise and the correct nutrition, like I talked about before. With Kensington, he really started to build his top line more when I was feeding him the correct nutrition, because before he wasn't getting enough protein. So even though I was doing a lot of the exercises and I was starting to even do some harder work like pirouettes, he didn't have the muscles to support the harder work and he ended up getting really sore. But it does take diligence and like being really particular. I think the biggest thing when you want to build your horse's top line is that you need to be able to do these transitions and these movements without your horse bracing in their neck or bracing in their back. And again, that is something that takes time and takes practice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, thanks to our sponsor, Purina. Don't forget to check out in the description their Feed Greatness Challenge, and there's some coupons to help you out with your first bag of feed. I really like Purina products. Kensington eats Purina, and it has really helped him not only to build his top line, but also to keep his gut and his tummy happy and healthy. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today's video is proudly sponsored by Purina. Check the link in the description to sign up for Purina's Feed Greatness Challenge. You can get some awesome coupons, and please clean up after your horse.